Hello friends, a very warm welcome to UnSarkari. I am Vikas Bhardwaj, continuing our understanding and journey of creating a very strong foundation and base with respect to understanding of democracy and its different elements so that we can create an applied force in the due future. This series is very important and crucial for having a very solid and a smart foundation. Today we are going to discuss about what is legislature. In terms of introduction to legislature, the basic and most common element which comes to our mind and which is known to everybody also, legislature is a branch of government. It is a branch of government responsible for making laws. That means legislature is for making laws. If we just think, then certain synonyms comes to our mind. For example, in India it is called parliament, legislature is called parliament. In UK it is also called parliament. In Congress, in USA it is Congress. It is the Congress which make laws. That also means legislature in a democracy or in a representative democracy or in a republic, it represents popular will and public sentiment. Indian Parliament, Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, and state legislatures. That is, they are actually, you can say, they are the one which will legislate. At state level, Vidhan Sabha plus Vidhan Parishad, wherever you have, both the houses, that is called bicameral. So those states having both the houses, bicameral states, they are having Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Certain are only having Vidhan Sabha only, and at the central level or at the level of center, there is Parliament having Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But when we speak of Parliament in India, then we also consider President as a part of it. It's very important point you must remember. My question for further thought provoking and also for making sure that you revise and study more and more. If legislature embodies the people's will, if it is definitely showcasing the people's will, why do citizens often feel disconnected from its decisions? I hope you will agree with me that in general people are not much bothered, people don't have much expectations from what parliament is doing. Why citizens feel disconnected from its decisions? Naturally, the decisions are being taken for their own well being, but why it is so? And then try to find a solution in the answer. If I say type of legislatures that I was saying, unicameral means one house, like in China, New Zealand, Turkey, Portugal, they are having only one houses, that is unicameral. Bicameral examples, two houses, that is lower house and the upper house. For example, US, UK, France, Russia and India. Remember these very carefully. In India, bicameral legislature, as I just said, in 6 states it is there. UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. They are having Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. In this regard, if we try to attempt this question that bicameralism, does bicameralism strengthen democracy by adding checks or actually it slows down with delays? What do you think? Please write a 200-word note. Very important for your understanding. You can do some research and write back. Lawmaking function is the primary function of legislature. That means primary duty is to pass laws. In the ancient times, as we have seen, there were kings, there were customs, and there were religious texts. For example, when the British came to India, then in 1770s, under Warren Hastings, there will be a committee of people sitting for understanding about Hindu laws and Mohammedan laws. And that's how the code of Hindu laws will be created. The basis for modern judiciary will also be created, and the basis for modern legislation will also be created. Uh, there will be pandits and Maulvis who will be, interpreting laws, and they will be giving a certain readings to the British. Pandit Jagannath Tarak Panchanan was there, one of the famous pandits, and he will be the one of the leaders, one of the priests, and one of the interpreters, one can say. In the modern times, legislature is the main source of law. For example, in India, if you say it is the parliament, Indian parliament went on to pass laws and which were assented by president. That is how laws are there. So, a question comes to our mind is that should unelected judges have the power to strike down the laws passed by elected legislatures? What do you think? Write your own philosophical and a very, very rational answer. So lawmaking function, as I just told, a bill is introduced, it is debated, it is passed in the legislature, and the president's assent is there. That's how the sequence goes up. Decision making function, when we speak of legislature, it is very important to understand that all important debates on national importance, of public issues, of policies, they all take place in the legislature. Theoretically speaking, and otherwise also, it must reflect people's opinion. It must reflect public understanding, public's opinion, their desires, their needs. And it must be seen from the perspective that it is adding to the educative value for citizens. It is helping citizens to have future of the nation in the hands of responsible representatives. It is also the forum which can encourage citizens to think in a better way and to create solutions, forcing representatives or forcing the public representatives to take further measures. So that means people are very important. For example, Indian Parliament debates on GST, on farm laws and women reservation bill, they all took place. So our question is, do parliamentary debates truly influence public opinion, or are they just political theater? What is your opinion? Please give illustration in your answers. So legislature is not just legislating the laws, it is the custodian of national finances also. It is the guardian of economy in one way. Executive needs, okay, executive, this, which is another branch apart from legislature, it needs legislative approval for budget, taxation and expenditure. Very important for budget, for taxation and for expenditure. Annual union budget presented by the finance minister is passed by Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha has exclusive power over money bills. We will read in details later. It has exclusive power on money bills. Rajya Sabha is only having recommendatory powers. So question arises, if legislature control finances, why do budgets often reflect executive priorities, the government's priorities rather than public needs? Before budget is being presented, we find that number of bodies, representative bodies, number of forum, number of citizen societies, they meet the finance minister, they try to address the problem, they want to tell the finance minister that please take this into consideration, please do this for us, this community, but not always that is happening. So do you think it is, if the legislature is so important, then why the budget is reflecting executive priorities? Why not legislature's priority it is reflecting? Electoral function is another very important because legislature elects or influences election of leaders. For example, Lok Sabha, it is electing the Prime Minister. And the Parliament and the state assemblies together in India, they are electing President. So legislature is having an electoral function also. Most important point to understand that it is a link, it is ensuring link between legislative and executive authority. It is ensuring the link. So the legislature's role in electing leaders enhances democracy. Do you think so? Legislature's role in electing leaders enhance democracy, or it is legislature is helping in concentrating power in political parties, different political parties? What legislature's role do you think is actually, and how it is evolving? Similarly, judicial function, when we say legislature is also having judicial function, for example, in India, impeachment of president, removal of judges, this is all being taken up by the legislature. There is a process given in the, there's a whole procedure, I should say, given in the constitution. Disqualification of members of the house for misconduct is also with the legislature. So the quasi-judicial committees, that means not having complete judicial powers, but then having powers like judiciary, these committees investigate corruption, ethics violations, and they also give their own, finally they give their own suggestions, they give their own recommendations also. So very important. Legislature is a sacred place. It is the beacon of light for the future of a nation. So should politicians judge other politicians? That's what we can say. Or should this power rest only with the independent courts? Because in case of committees, only other politicians are there. What should be done? What is the way ahead? This is a very, very important theme for understanding complex issues. You must try to write an answer. Administrative function is also part, because legislation, or legislature, I should say, legislature is actually having an oversight of government administration. Committees are there, parliamentary committees are there. They monitor implementation of laws. The committees, they give their recommendations, and they also look how the money is being spent. For example, Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, Committee on Public Undertaking. These all committees work round the clock for the whole term of the government, and they give their very, very honest and critical feedback on the basis of which changes are being made. That means, as an administrative function, it ensures transparency, accountability, and efficiency. But the question arises, are legislative committees powerful enough? Are they powerful enough to hold the executive accountable? Or they are just symbolic watchdogs? They just give recommendations, but nothing much changes on the ground. Or is it really making a change? Do look for certain illustrations before writing your answer, and write it. So what we can conclude? We can conclude that legislature is having lawmaking powers. It is a decision-making body. It is having financial powers. It is having electoral powers. It is having judicial authority and administrative authority also. That means in India, parliament plus state legislatures together, they form the pillar of democracy. That also means that legislature plays such an important role that it balances popular will. For example, people giving power to certain political party in majority, then also legislature is actually a kind of a watchdog, kind of a balance creating force with the constitutional limits. This is such an important role. So in the age of social media and direct democracy, do you think legislature will remain the true voice of the people? Do you really think so? How? Please write the answer. With these ideas on legislature, we actually take the journey forward and understand the very foundational and important key concepts. Please do make your notes and also revise the lecture a couple of times so that you get a clarity. For any doubts, get back anytime, because if you have no doubts, that means you have not understood the lecture properly. Thank you very much. See you in the next lecture.